Welcome to a new season of Students Incorporated and a new team. On our first episode with me today is Midnight, aka Dorcas. You may recognize her from last season. She's back, helping with this new team this year. Also on the mics today are Lucy and Yachi, new Season 5 team members. Don't worry, we'll introduce the other team members in upcoming episodes. Let's get into our topic for today, game design and what makes games addictive. And we are talking about online games. So it's all harmless fun, right? Hour 1 is when you're busy locking in. Hour 2, keep up that streak. Hour 3, have you done anything productive yet? Heck no, but you're so close to unlocking that new whatever. Then hour 4, just about there. But hey, who's to say that's a negative thing? Playing video games is pretty common, right? For example, I've been known to enjoy playing a little Angry Birds from time to time with my family and friends. We enjoy knocking pigs down and making a mess of the different levels. Oh, by the way, I'm Mr. Jason.
Knocking over pigs, that sounds fun. What about you, Lucy and Yachi? Do you guys play video games? If so, which one is your favorite? Personally, my favorite game is Resident Evil. It is a survival-based horror franchise where humans have mutated into zombies and you need to basically survive them. I think my favorite is the fourth game because I get to play as Leon Kennedy and I think he's really cool.
That sounds pretty interesting. I remember playing a lot of Roblox with my friends back in the day. Whether it was being jump scared constantly in a horror game, working together to finish an obby, or even being AFK in random tycoons, it was always such a great time.
Ooh, that sounds fun. Personally, I don't really play games, but I do occasionally play Mario Kart on my Nintendo with friends and family. It's always fun to watch people get competitive, steal controllers from one another, and bond together.
Yeah, games can bring out the competitive nature in all of us, especially in Mario Kart, speaking from experience. I found this quote in an article from Game Critters. An anonymous person wrote it. Just like casino slot machines, the games today have mastered the ability to hook us in like any drug, using a combination of technology and psychology. In personal finance class, we learned about the sunk cost fallacy, which is when you keep doing something because you've already invested so much time in it that you don't want to stop. In theaters, this would be like watching a movie purely because you have a ticket. Likewise, in gaming, you've already invested so much time in gaining levels that even if it's not a good investment, you continue because you've already spent a lot of time, money, or effort on it. So, what do you guys think? Why are games so addictive?
Yeah, as someone who used to play Clash Royale, I remember feeling the need to hop on every day to maintain that streak, or making sure I'm keeping up with all the events and dailies. As for the sunk cost fallacy, whoa, you're really smart, and that's a great connection.
Yeah, she really is smart. I feel like the sunk cost fallacy is the same concept as a legacy game in which what you were playing last time sets the next time you play the game. Some examples of this would include Civilization 1 to 5. It could also be true for games like Mario Kart and Uno because, let's be honest, you definitely want to win. Sorry, I can get a little competitive sometimes.
That's okay. I think we're all a bit competitive sometimes. Alright, let's talk about this question since it is the main topic of today's episode. What makes a game so addictive? Yachi, what did you find?
Well, while I don't play too many video games myself, I have a brother who absolutely does, almost to a concerning level. He's mentioned things like loot boxes where you keep trying and trying to get a reward. It's the same thing that made Labubu so addictive. Another reason he plays is for stress relief. As video games can provide an environment where you are in complete control, it's an effective way to relieve anxiety efficiently.
Exactly true in some cases. I actually read about a thing a while back known as the Zeigarnik effect. It's basically the tendency for unfinished tasks to stay more mentally active than finished ones in your head. It's like having a song looping in your head, except in this case, it's a video game level. The idea of being stuck in second place for a ranking. That number can loop in your head for hours, sometimes even days, eventually dragging you back into the game or the grind.
So let me jump in here a moment. Yachi brought up loot boxes, and Lucy just mentioned the concept of looping. So there are a couple of the mechanics here in how these games are designed that have to do with the idea of a loot box and loops. So game designers will create something called the core loop. The core loop of the game is what triggers the dopamine hits we all enjoy when we play. It's what keeps us playing round after round. The core loop mechanic is simple. It's a pattern of 4 things: action, reward, upgrade, repeat. Another mechanic of games is the concept of randomness or variable rewards. I think we can all agree that fixed rewards get boring after a while. They are predictable. There's no surprise to them. Randomness is built into the game, so we can't learn the pattern and get bored. Also, a variable reward produces anticipation, which keeps us coming back for more. One more thing called a near-miss effect is when we get a reward or item that is almost what we want but isn't quite there yet. This tricks our brain into thinking, I was so close, just one more try. You will find all these mechanics in modern-day casino and gambling games as well.
So the randomness, variable, and near-miss reward mechanics are the built-in addictive frameworks to these games?
Yeah, that is correct. And all this information is easy to find and read about online. We all know games can be addictive. We just like our dopamine hits too much to bother or care sometimes. A psychologist named B.F. Skinner tested this mechanism on animals back in the 1950s. If the lever the animal pressed gave a reward every single time, the animal pressed it only when it was hungry. But if the reward was random, the animal pressed it endlessly.
So what about violent games? One could say that Mario Kart is a violent game. You're trying to win the race, and in doing so, you're trying to run and ram your opponents off the road, like putting down a banana or throwing a red shell. This takes me to our next topic question. How do violent games affect the human psyche?
When people ask about violent games, the fear is usually, does this make people aggressive in real life? But decades of psychological research show a much more nuanced picture. Most major studies, including work from the American Psychological Association, show that playing violent video games doesn't turn someone into a violent person. What it does do is trigger an adrenaline surge, elevating your heart's rate and stimulating high-stakes stress in a totally safe and controlled environment.
Players will definitely feel that physical rush during an intense match, but there's a psychological disconnect between virtual actions and real-life choices. For most gamers, taking down enemies in a game isn't about aggression. It's actually a form of stress release. It's a way to blow off steam after a rough school day or at work.
The psyche is reacting to competition and challenge, not learning real-world harm. Though, if a game has you screaming at your monitor or throwing a controller, that's your brain's sign that stress response is winning and it's time to step away for a minute.
Yeah, and that's a great transition. And speaking of stepping away for a minute, that brings us to the end of our first segment. So stick around because when we return from our short break, we'll be flipping the script completely to explore the positive benefits gaming has on our brains, friendships, and critical thinking skills. We'll be right back.
Hey everyone! If you're part of the ICS community, then you've got something to look forward to on the 29th of August, which is this coming Saturday. That's right, it's time for the ICS Senior Carnival. The theme this year is related to the seasons of the year. Bring your friends, bring your family, and get ready for amazing food, awesome games, and tons of fun. Don't miss out! Mark your calendars, show up, and let's make this the best carnival yet.
All right, welcome back. In the first episode, we talked about how game designers use psychological loops to keep our eyes and hands glued to the controllers and screens. But let's be fair, we don't just play games because we're being manipulated. We play because games can be genuinely fun and entertaining.
Absolutely. First and foremost, games are incredible stress relief. After a long day of classes or work, stepping into a well-crafted world gives your brain a chance to unwind, decompress, and just have fun.
And it's not just brainless entertainment either. Think about the problem-solving skills you build, whether you're managing resources in a strategy game or trying to beat complex puzzle rooms. Games force you to try and fail, adapt, and iterate until you figure it out.
That ties directly into critical thinking too. Modern games rarely give you a straight answer. You have to analyze systems, weigh risks, assess multi-step strategies, and make split-second decisions under pressure. That's real cognitive workout material.
And we can't forget positive community building. Games have a way to bring people together across the world. You're collaborating with teammates, building shared worlds, working together, and finding communities of people who love the same niche things you do.
Okay, we're going to close out this last segment with one of our traditions. We sometimes share a top 10 list in our episodes, so we'd like to do that now. And this top 10 list is titled The Top 10 Most Played Games Right Now. And this is according to demandsage.com. It appears this list was published in May of this year, so it is still pretty relevant. Anyway, Midnight will get us started with number 10, and then we'll count down from there. Just a quick disclaimer before we get started. Many of the top 10 most played games right now are not child-friendly. All right, Midnight, go ahead with number 10.
Alright, okay. Number 10 is a game known as Among Us. This game has an estimated active user base of 20 million players. Among Us is a game where crewmates complete tasks on a spaceship while trying to identify and vote out hidden imposters before they eliminate the crew.
And coming in at number 9 is Mobile Legends, Bang Bang, or just often called Mobile Legends, with an estimated active user base of almost 41 million players. Mobile Legends is a fast-paced mobile multiplayer online battle arena, or MOBA. It is a game where 2 teams of 5 players control unique heroes and work together to destroy the opposing team's base while defending their own.
Number 8 is a game that also falls into the MOBA genre titled Honor of Kings. This game has an estimated active user base of 100 million players. It is where 2 teams of players choose legendary heroes to battle across a map and destroy the enemy's main crystal.
Moving on to number 7, we have Fortnite with an estimated average player base of 110 million users. Fortnite is a popular free-to-play battle royale game where 100 players drop onto an island, build structures, and battle with weapons until only one player or team remains standing.
Next, we have number 6, a game titled League of Legends, another game with the word legends in the title. This game has an estimated active user base of 117 million players. League of Legends is also a MOBA game where 2 teams of 5 players control unique champions to outmaneuver their opponents and destroy the enemy's team's nexus.
And we are halfway through our list now. Sitting at number 5 is a game titled PUBG Mobile, with an estimated active player base of up to 150 million users. There was a range given for this game of between 110 to 150 million users. Anyway, this game is just a competitive battle royale shooter where 100 players parachute onto a shrinking island, scavenge for weapons and gear, and fight to be the last survivor or team standing.
Next, we have number 4 on the list. It is a game called Free Fire, which has an estimated active player base of 130 million users. Free Fire is a fast-paced mobile battle royale game where 50 players drop onto a remote island and scavenge for weapons and resources to fight for survival in quick 10-minute matches.
We are at number 3 on our list, which is the game Minecraft. This game has an estimated active player base of 212 million users. Minecraft was made even more popular with the release of the Minecraft movie, starring Jack Black and Jason Momoa, the guy who played Aquaman. This game is an open-world sandbox game where players explore a blocky, procedurally generated 3D world to gather resources, craft tools, build structures, and survive against monsters.
And the second most popular game right now is Candy Crush Saga. This game has an estimated active player base of around 273 million users. Candy Crush Saga is all about swapping colorful candies on a board to match 3 or more of the same type and clearing levels.
And finally, we've made it to the world's most popular game right now. Coming in at number 1 is Roblox. This popular game has an estimated active player base of around 380 million users, over 100 million more than our second place game. Roblox is an online gaming platform and game creation system that allows users to program, share, and play millions of user-generated 3D games across various genres.
All right, and there you have it, the full list of the top 10 most popular games right now. Of course, this may change in a month or two. So altogether, these 10 games have an estimated active player base of over 1.5 billion users. That's almost 1/5 of the world's population, by the way. That's a lot of game players. And with that, here are several headline news stories relevant to our topic today.
Our first news headline is not a very happy one. It comes from the BBC News and is titled, Discord Ordered to Suspend Live Streams in Brazil. Brazil's Data Protection Authority ordered Discord to suspend its live streaming feature after a user was allegedly urged to take their own life. According to reports, several teenagers connected to this tragedy have been arrested. Discord has over 200 million monthly users and is popular among gamers. One of the features allows people to create and join groups whose members can participate in real-time voice and video calls. However, Discord itself has limited real-time access to live stream content, which prevents automated detection of violations. After the suspension was issued, Discord told the BBC that it was thoughtfully reviewing the order and is committed to user safety. The suspension still stands until Discord proves that it has implemented adequate protective measures.
And our second headline comes from Track 360, titled iGaming Industry Statistics 2026, 115 billion global GGR and market breakdown. GGR stands for gross gaming revenue, and it has grown by the billions. The top 3 operators driving this revenue growth are Flutter Entertainment, Bet365, and Entain. Global GGR for this year increased by 12% over the last year. GGR is the total revenue generated by all online gaming activities. This sector continues to grow thanks in part to the number of active online players, as we talked about earlier, and the evolution of how games are designed with both core loops and monetization features.
Our final headline comes from the BBC again. It's titled, Amazon Gaming Boss Predicts Future Where Players No Longer Need Consoles. Amazon's head of gaming thinks that rising cost of consoles means that people will stream more games online, rather than buying new tech. Gaming hardware from companies like Sony, Microsoft, and Valve have increased prices in recent years. The rise in hardware prices has pushed many gamers to streaming platforms. However, streaming services still face a few obstacles, such as the fact that many high-end games still require a controller. Amazon's head of gaming did say that gamers are willing to trade a little fidelity for convenience, because the rising cost of consoles and other hardware are putting a strain on people's budgets.
And that ends our headline news for this episode. Join us weekly for new content and topics. Don't forget to follow us on your favorite streaming platform.
Did you connect with today's topic? If so, share it with a friend or tag us on social media. We'd love to hear your thoughts. And we're signing off until next time. We are Students Incorporated because your voice matters.